why all the politicians got together against IK Niazi to remove him from the office of the Prime Minister. That is something very interesting to be noted. As a matter of fact, during more than 3.5 year rule of IK Niazi PTI, the government at that time was victimizing the politicians, the opponent political parties and the leading politicians. The most affected of all was PMLN. Why? Because the PMLN actually was the main challenger of PTI. So IK Niazi wanted to remove them from their way, and they wanted to weaken it. PTI, IK Niazi wanted to weaken it a lot. So many of the false cases were registered against the PMLN leadership and then the other politicians as well. So why? Because they will be rendered ineligible to hold any public office and to contest elections. So for this purpose, many of the false cases were registered against the opposition politicians, particularly the PML, and then these were allegedly it was all being done through General Faiz Hamid. General Faiz Hamid was the DGISI and he was the favorite of IK Niazi. So he being allegedly he was, but some of the politicians say that General Faiz Hamid was working for not maybe lesser for the sake of state and more for the sake of PMLN and for PTI and the IK Niazi himself. So what happened that NAB remained very active, and Hamza Shahbaz and his father, the current Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, had to have to remain in the NAB custody in the jail for quite a lot of time, and then the Jung Geo group chief Mir Khalilur Rahman too was victimized a lot. Why? Because they didn't out of the way wanted to help IK Niazi and PTI. So that is that kind of political victimization on the one hand, and then there was a huge probability as well that Mr. IK Niazi, the PTI chief, will appoint General Faiz Hamid as the COAS for the next few years, for the next 3 years, and maybe for still another 3 years. And PTI and General Faiz Hamid was allegedly a supporter and an ally of IK Niazi and PTI. So the military establishment too was being dragged into the politics. Earlier too, military establishment had been meddling in the affairs of the politics, but during the IK Niazi rule, it reached at the top. Now, all of the politicians thought that if at all the IK Niazi remain in the office of the Prime Minister, then all the opposition will be killed, all will be rendered useless and totally decapacitated. For this danger in their mind, they all wanted to remove him from the office, and they got to get together. I think it was in one way very much beneficial for IK Niazi because of his poorest governance and because of almost no delivery during more than 3.5 year rule of IK Niazi. So what happened that his removal from the office and then following certain other economic troubles in the country, IK Niazi got a kind of face saving that he was a better than the current PDM government. And I think so that is the reason that all the political parties got to join hand against IK Niazi and to remove him from the office of the Prime Minister.